planning assures that you have targets that you're aiming for that are going to help you resist getting off target. Let's look at the last phase here, project transition. Towards the end of the project cycle, the project manager and his or her team are probably busy in this phase confirming the deliverables with the beneficiaries of the project or the stakeholders. They should be collecting lessons learned that can be shared with others. They're probably completing the administrative or contractual or financial activities that will bring the project to a successful end. I think that using a model like this in planning can help us to be more proactive as project managers. This is a more detailed way of looking at the model that was shown in the previous slide. It captures the essential phases that we talked about, and then it gets more detailed about the kinds of tasks associated with each of those phases. These are the tasks that the manager will assure are carried out. So all of this, going left to right is generally the trajectory of project management, but it isn't always a linear process. While it usually goes from left to right, it can overlap. You could be doing planning while you're also assessing the environment during the setup and the early justification. And sometimes the project will even circle back on itself, like you are collecting some sort of information through your monitoring process that makes you realize that you need to change something in the work plan. This could make you go back a couple of steps, change a priority or an activity, and then move forward again. For instance, like examples of that from my own work life is, there have been instances in projects I've worked on where a new stakeholder group emerged suddenly, a group that we didn't anticipate, maybe we should have, but we didn't know that they would have a stake in the activities that we're carrying out. I've also been involved in projects where we decided later that we had not communicated sufficiently a risk to stakeholders that they had a right to know about as the project proceeded. So when you discover things like that through monitoring or through other kinds of lessons learned, you may find yourself going backwards in this planning cycle and then moving forward again. So please study this model to be sure that you understand it. But first, before we leave this slide in the first lecture, I just want to point out an important task associated with the end of project planning that I don't want you to forget. Remember to celebrate your accomplishments. Our work in public health and global development can be very hard. It's complex and it's difficult to navigate even at the best of times. We often manage our work in conditions of ambiguity and uncertainty, which is very stressful for most people. So when a project comes to a close, remember to celebrate both the opportunity that you've had to do the work that we do, which is meaningful, and to celebrate the people who helped you to make that work happen. Now, if you found this video helpful, educational, or at least mildly entertaining, go ahead and subscribe. Seriously, it helps the channel more than coffee helps project managers. And trust me, that's saying a lot. In the next video, we'll dive into the constraints of project management, the real villains of every project. Budget, time, and scope. Sounds like a love triangle waiting to implode, right? So hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay organized. Thanks for watching.